Tonight we're going to take you on a men's weekend training adventure with the New Warriors, an organization which challenges men to go inside themselves for a powerful and personal experience, to evaluate where they are and where they want to go in their lives, and to find those shadow traits which inhibit men from reaching their full potential. Doug Suley is a trader at the Mercantile Exchange. Every day he travels through a labyrinth of data in search of wealth for his clients.
Sell 1515 November beans.
Now the 36-year-old is embarking on a different type of journey, in search of himself.
I'm looking for a deeper relationship with myself, you know, and, you know, with the part of me that is, you know, deeply masculine.
The journey was prompted by the recent death of his father.
I think a lot of what he missed, you know, passing on to me, you know, that's what I'm doing this for.
What Suley has found is the New Warriors program, a gathering that could be called a men's movement support group. It was founded in 1985 and has initiated more than 6,000 men. Dr. Alan Silverstein wants to be one of those men.
To wrest control of my life, to beat depression, to make a decision what I'm going to do with the rest of my life.
The adventure, as it's called, begins with a weekend in the woods, part boot camp, part spiritual retreat.
Basically, the weekend is challenging men as to their belief systems, what they stand for, and to give up an old way of being and step into something new.
And so it begins, the journey within, the transformation from head to heart, the search for the devils inside. It's a journey of ritual, a rite of passage. Much like warrior ceremonies throughout the centuries, for many, it marks the passage into manhood. And like many such ceremonies, the New Warrior organization leaders insist it be kept secret. Some behaviorists say the modern male has lost his sense of self and his place in the society. There are numerous tribal myths to learn. The New Warriors create their own, incorporating Eastern, Western, and Native American teachings. The initiates say they use them to get in touch with their spiritual identity.
Kids will love the new father that walks in the door.
This is food for men. This is the stuff we've been starving ourselves from for way too long.
Suley says that he's come to terms with his father's death, and that he's leaving here, perhaps, to become a better father himself. Leaders say the change will hold.
In this work, we heal the world one man at a time.
Our guests today are part of a rapidly growing contingent of men who are trying to undo what they see as destructive forces in a man's life. In short, they believe men need to become more open and sensitive. They feel their change in lifestyle has worked to make their lives better. And as you're about to see, they're not afraid to share what they've learned.
You know, all across America, there are groups of men like us who meet periodically, big groups, little groups, once a week, and come together to share their experiences and talk about the hurts and pains that they've had, the breaking up of their families, the things that really affect us. Up until now, men haven't had permission in our society to do that. It's not okay for men to show their feelings. We're told as little boys, you know, grow up, be a man, don't show, have a stiff upper lip, don't show your feelings. And that cutting ourselves off from feeling is destroying us. It's destroying ourselves as people, it's destroying the women that we love, our relationships with other men as well. So we might just want to go around whenever anybody wants to jump in and explain what's happened to them since they've had their weekend, had an experience of themselves.
What you said there really hit a chord for me, because I know a lot of men in their lives who have a good chance of dying rich. They have all the trappings of economic power and all the material things and what the good life is supposed to be, but they're not living richly. Dying rich, but not living richly. For myself, what I got from the men's work and from reconnecting with men was the possibility that life held when I was 12 years old, when I knew the world was a great place and it was going to turn out okay. And then over the years, that got tarnished. I thought, well, the world's not such a good place, and life doesn't turn out, and it's a real mess. But discovering the hearts of men has brought back that idealism that I had as a youth, and combined it with the experience I have as a man, it's real powerful. It's like being 12 and 40 at the same time and having the best of both worlds.
Yeah. Working as a young psychologist, in crisis situations, I saw men coming in at the point which they were half dead and bleeding. The word help was not in the male vocabulary, nor was the word ouch. And we have to wait until we get sick in order to get better. And that was unacceptable to me. And I think I knew inherently, and also realized, having 2 daughters, that I was going to need to be in touch. I was going to need to be in touch with who I was, where I was going, what I wanted, what I felt. That whole part of my existence, my aliveness, my awareness, I wasn't going to be able to live without those things, nor was I going to be able to function as a professional. So this work has been very important to me for my entire life.
I found that with my daughters, that I couldn't relate to them from a place of loving Dad and loving them unconditionally. I put conditions on them because of where I was at and the anger that I had inside me and that defensiveness to whatever was going on. And now I've learned through the work that part of me that's defensive, that little boy, has caused so much of the grief, has caused so much of that anger. And by accepting that, embracing that, and working with that little boy, there's really no need for me to be defensive and angry anymore. And I can love my daughters unconditionally. I can love my wife unconditionally.
My own experience has been in counseling, marriage and family counseling. I have graduate education in that, and I'm a pastor. So my understanding is at least that family systems are essential and an integral part of healing and wholeness. I think that the men that have gone through this kind of work, which I've recommended from my congregation, and I'm sure that there are other pastors who've recommended from their congregation, have seen much more intensity in terms of their connection with their family, much more honesty, much more transparency. That kind of thing is happening.
And when I entered my late 20s, I became very wealthy, self-made millionaire. And I tried for 5 or 6 years of my life to buy happiness. I built a 12,000 square foot house complete with 2-lane bowling alley, in the pools and the exercise rooms and the music rooms, and everything I thought that I could have that money would buy. And it didn't work. It didn't work at all. I found out that I went from having a pickup truck of goods to where the pickup truck was too small. I'd get a bigger truck, and I'd fill the bigger truck up. And then I'd get a bigger truck and a bigger truck. And finally, I found out in my life, I'm running around life with a huge truck full of stuff that I don't even know what it's about. And it wasn't until I got into a group of men that showed me face to face what my pain was, that I could start dissecting that and taking little things away from the truck. And it's so much lighter in my life now for me to be able to go around with a small truck.
Most of us in this culture have developed what I call male blindness. We don't see, we look into other men's faces, or we look right past other men to women. Yeah. But we don't see through the eyes of the window of the soul. We don't see the other man inside. We're learning how to see each other and recognize each other.
And it's not just men. Learning how to touch and be with men has helped me, and I've seen numerous other men, it has helped us to be with women better. Because now I don't have a narrow way of touching and being with men, I have a wider way, and so I don't have to have a narrow way of touching women and being with women. It's not just sexual, it can be broader and deeper and more fulfilling.
My name is Jan Coleman, and that's my husband Jim up there. And I think for me the most profound, I get emotional, because it's such an amazing change in this man. He left the home. I told my girlfriend I think he had a brain transplant. He left home, and he was a very aggressive, strong, hard, macho man, and he came back and he was soft, and he was tender and open, and he knows how to communicate now. And he is what all women dream about a husband being, and he is without a doubt more incredibly strong now than he ever was, and that's because of his ability to be soft. And any woman who has any doubts about sending your husband to do this, don't even think about it. Do it.
What did you learn out of the new Warrior training?
A clear sense of purpose in my life.
A wonderful connection with my sons.
An intimate relationship with my wife.
A much better sense of myself as a man.
I learned to take responsibility for my life. A new way of raising my children.
I discovered that I'm responsible for making my dreams come true.
I learned I could trust other men.